So we have this picture, we want to use it, but it's a little bit too wide for our layout. We like this dinosaur thing, we like the witch, we crop it down a little bit. Essentially it's all a little bit too wide. So we think, perhaps I can use the free transform command from the edit menu. And of course the free transform command just squashes everything. Can't work, we can't use that. Look at that, she's all squashed. So I'm just going to escape from there. Now Photoshop CS4 comes with a new command, the Content Aware Scale command. Not very descriptive of what it does, I don't think. On choosing it, I get crop rectangle around the edge of my picture, of my image. But if I drag inwards now, so it takes a little longer to refresh this here, you'll notice. But you see, as I'm moving it in, again, her face isn't getting squashed. Elements of the picture are getting squashed, but elements that aren't important to the visual sense of it. Here I am taking it down by a whole 400 pixels, and although we know the truth, we know that she's been squashed a little bit here, we know that this dinosaur thing is less wide than it was, it's still preserving the look and feel of the thing. Now up here on the options bar, there's a couple of interesting things over at this end. The first one is this little human figure here, which will protect the skin tones in the image, i.e. not try and squash them. So if I click on that, if you keep an eye on her, I click on protect skin tones again. It's taking a moment to catch up with me. There, and you can see that kept her face slightly wider. If I move that in, you see that skin tones there are staying more stable. Those areas are staying more stable. It's more likely to keep people looking relatively human. Luckily she's a witch though. And I'm just going to give that a little tick there. Other scenarios you might want to use this. There I did a vertical squash. If I come up over to this tulips image, again I've got another layer active, and if I go to Content Aware Scale again, it's going to go and take this up like so, and you see it just concentrates the snow there, squashes the snow together, but leaves the flower head left untouched. And I wanted to bring that in slightly. Can scale in here. There's been a lot of maths going on there while it thinks about it. And again, after a while, it catches up. And again, I can just confirm that I'm happy with that. Now, most of the time, it's going to do a pretty good job for you. But in instances like this, where I've got these swans and cygnets, and I want to pull them together, there's no skin tones here to be protected. I want to make sure that these swans don't get squashed. Now, the way to do that is that I can make use of, let me just show you here, under the Content Aware Scale command, there's an option here that says Protect, and if I've got an alpha channel set up, I'll then be able to go and tell it to protect what's been defined by the alpha channel. Now I'm just going to cancel out of Content Aware Scale for a sec, and I'm going to come over to the Channels panel, go and create myself a new alpha channel, there it is, sitting on top of everything else, turn on the RGB channel, but here I've got the alpha one still on, and with my brush selected, let's make that a bit smaller, I can paint in white, and I'm telling Photoshop here that when I do my Content Aware Scale, well, I'm going to tell Photoshop this, when I do my Content Aware Scale, I don't want it to be concentrating these bits, I don't want it to be squashing any of these. So I'm just going to get the swan, cygnets, any reflection there might be behind them, paint it on the alpha channel, go back to my RGB channel here, turn off alpha 1, let's go back to the layer panel, so there's my layer selected, Content Aware Scale, and let me just zoom out a little bit there. If I drag this over, you can see it squashes up the water. Well, it doesn't really squash it, but it truncates it in some way. And I can just toy with the composition of the image here. Bring those swans together. Some of the detail from behind to make it all a little more concentrated again, as I say, but without losing that sense of water and without giving it any sensation of being squashed.